is up, you guys? Good morning. I feel like it's been a while. I got my oats and I got my coffee. Let's get down to business, coffee. So let's start the discussion. All right, so today I wanted to talk about something. This literally just came onto my mind. I wasn't planning on recording anything today, but or this morning. I wanted to talk about this subject is something that I'm very passionate about this, and it's something that I really care a lot about, and it's something that really affects me and affects a lot of people. So what I want to talk about is I want to talk about life after extreme weight loss, or even just life after any sort of weight loss. And I just kind of want to talk about, my life and maybe some tips that I have and stuff. I really don't have a huge structure for this because I just decided that I wanted to talk about this. But I've seen a couple posts of people saying posts of people that I would follow that said that were super motivated, and you can tell when someone's posting a lot that they're really doing good, and then you start to see that they're only posting maybe once a week, or they're only posting once a month or stuff like that. You just know something is going on and that they're maybe backsliding, and that's okay. But I just kind of want to talk about my thoughts on it and how I've been able to maintain my weight loss and maintain my life pretty much after losing 170 pounds. So the main thing I want to bring up, I think, is that I just want to talk about the mindset that you have when you are losing the weight is really important. You have to think, you can't think that there's a finish line, because, and I know it sounds terrible, but there's never a finish line. You're never going to end this, but there's never a finish line to where you say, I've hit my weight loss goal, now I'm done, because it's not how it works. It doesn't, there's no end date, there's no end point, there's nothing, for me, there's never a point where I said, okay, I've hit what I wanted to do, because there's always something that I'm working towards, and there's always something that I want to achieve. There's always something that I want to, get better, my body get better, maybe, or even my mental state. So the way you have to think of it is I'm gonna be fighting this for the rest of my life, and that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not a terrible thing that you have to deal with all the time. It's not that big of a deal. So a saying that kind of popped into my head, I'm not sure if I made this up, maybe I did, maybe I'm a genius, but I highly doubt it. The way that you have to think about, I don't want to say the way that you have to think about it. The way that I think about it is, okay, I did beat obesity, but I did not delete it, right? So I beat it, but I didn't delete it. What I mean by that is, yes, I am no longer obese, but that does not mean that I could never go back to being obese. That is always a possibility, and that's always something that can happen. So yes, I did beat obesity, I defeated it, but it's not deleted. It's not gone. It's not something that can never happen again, and you have to remember that when you're going out with your friends and eating kind of whatever you want, and that's okay. You can do that, but you just have to always have that in the back of your head. Okay, I beat it, now I'm not obese, but it is still there, and it always will be there. And if that sounds daunting, I'm sorry, but it's true. That's just me being honest with you. You have to understand that can always happen to you. It's not something that just will never happen, because if you start to think of it like that and it starts to happen, that's when you start to just be like, well, screw it, I'm just gonna do whatever, because obviously there's nothing I can do to stop this. Because if you lost a lot of weight and then you start gaining it back, that doesn't mean that you have to gain all the weight back. That doesn't mean that. And I know that sounds that's a lot easier said than done. That's oh, obviously, I don't have to gain the weight. But think about the mindset. The mindset I've had when I would end up gaining the weight back is I was just so frustrated, and I was just like, you know what? I failed. So I'm gonna just gain all this weight back, and I've lost it, and now there's nothing I can do to fix it. You can always lose your weight again, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say that saying you can stop losing, you gain your weight because you can losing it. Don't think of it like that. But if you start gaining a little bit, there's no reason that you can't become motivated again, and you can't become driven again to lose some more weight. So that being said, I kind of wanted to talk about my life after that, my life after losing 170 pounds, and kind of what I've been going through, and maybe my experiences will be able to help some people out there that maybe are hoping to lose a lot of weight or have lost a lot of weight and don't really know what their life is going to be like, or whatever, First thing I want to bring up, and this is probably the most prominent thing and the obvious thing, is loose skin. Now, I've talked about this a lot, and I always will talk about loose skin, because that's something that affects me, and that's something that affects a lot of people. And for some reason, people think it's this huge taboo thing that you cannot talk about because it's gross, and it's something that's a little off the wall. It's just skin. remember that. It's just skin. Yes, I understand it sucks when your thighs are flapping around and when your arms are flapping around and when your chest is going up and down, but it's just skin, and skin that you earned and skin that you, I don't want to say deserve, but skin that you should not be ashamed of. Yeah, it's hard. Obviously, I don't like walking around with my shirt off. Yeah, I don't like doing that. But if someone is honestly gonna judge you for that and not be friendly to you or be your friend, be kind, that person shouldn't be in your life anyways. So they just kind of deleted themselves from your life, and that's something you don't even have to deal with anymore. Another thing I want to bring up is kind of just my diet and how I eat. I'm always conscious of calories, and I'm always looking at, you know, sauces. Sauces are huge. There's so many calories that can be in sauces, so I'm always conscious of looking at that. And whenever I go out to eat, I'll look at the salad dressings and I'll say, you know, just give me the lightest dressing that you have, you know, the least fat dressing that you have, stuff like that. Those are things that I'm always conscious of, and that I think I always will be conscious of, because I understand that I beat it, but I didn't delete it. I beat obesity, but it's not gone forever, and it's something that can still definitely affect me. So I'm always keeping that in the back of my mind. Another thing I want to bring up is just the quality of life. Now, I'm saying all these negative things, but I just want to let you guys know that my life is so much better now that I've lost the weight. I am living, and I've said this before, I'm living my life now. I'm not just existing. I'm not just waking up trying to live that day until I can go back to sleep. I'm thinking the big picture, you know, my life in terms of years, not in just terms of hours or in terms of, you know, the next meal and stuff like that. My life, the quality of life that you're gonna have, I can almost guarantee you is gonna be better than it was when you were obese. And another thing I want to bring up is love life. You know, as someone, now it's hard to say because everyone's different, especially with how confident they are and how much they believe that they deserve things, yada yada yada, right? But for me, the way that I was when I was obese was, if I was around a girl that I thought was attractive, maybe a girl that I thought was, you know, I liked, I automatically just assumed they wouldn't find me any at all interesting other than just maybe a friend or a funny friend that make fun of themselves. So I would just kind of trap myself in that was my role, right? In the movie, that was my role in their movie, right? It's just the funny fat friend that made jokes and made them laugh and then would talk to them about the guy that they actually liked. And that was something that I would do. That's just what I did. And I hated it, but it in my mind, it felt like that's the only way that I could be around this girl, right? That's the only way that I could be around this girl, is if I'm the funny fat friend that is actually here to talk to them about the guy that they actually like. And I know it sounds like such like a movie role, but that's how I felt. So now, obviously, I mean, I have a beautiful girlfriend and I'm very lucky to have her, but I'm just not as nervous, I'm not as nervous, I'm not as kind of, I feel like I can do whatever, I can be whoever I want to be. I don't have to feel like I have to fit into this role. I can be the person that I really think that I am, and that's really awesome. That's another huge perk of life after losing a lot of weight. Another thing I want to bring up, this is something that I still struggle with a lot, is kind of realizing who you are now and realizing your potential now, because for me, obviously, there's things that I know I'm not 360 pounds anymore. Like, if I go shopping, I don't buy a 5XL shirt. I buy a large. You know, I know that stuff. But there's things where, this is just a very simple example. As far as like maybe like climbing a fence or like jumping over something, a lot of times in my mind, I'm still like, I can't do that. But in reality, it's not even a struggle for me. Like, if I do it, I'm like, oh, why did I not think that was something that I can do? Why did I not think that was something that I could accomplish? So it's a very weird feeling, because I lived my life, 20 years of my life. I'm only 22 years old, right? I lived 20 years of my life being obese and literally just limiting myself, not even trying things like that, right? Like jumping over a fence or hopping over a log or whatever it was, right? I wouldn't even try it because in my head, I was like, that's not gonna happen. And living like that for so long and telling yourself you can't do this, you can't do that, don't even try, that is a mindset that really does stick with you, especially if you just tell yourself over and over and over and over again, you can't, don't try it. And now, I mean, I am capable of doing those things. I mean, physically, it's not even a struggle, right? But in my head, I'm just thinking, you can't, because I've told myself that so many times that it's kind of a weird thing that it's something that you have to get over. It's something that you have to work on. You have to tell yourself that you can. Obviously, you can, right? You have the willpower to do an amazing thing, but you're still struggling with this thought inside your head that you can't because you've told yourself that your whole entire life. Especially, like, I just keep saying my whole entire life because I was big my whole entire life. I'm not sure what journey you're going through, if you've been big forever, if you know, just got big or whatever it is. But you start telling yourself that you can't, and it's hard to break through that, and it's hard to kind of get over that and, you know, believe in yourself again. So those are the points that I wanted to make. I'm not sure, I know I totally rambled and made some really random points, and this video is very random, but I didn't really have a plan on I didn't plan on speaking about this. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your comments, all your support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Also, in the comment section down below, if you've been through it, if you've, you know, lost a lot of weight, or you're going through it, you know, if you could leave your thoughts, I would love that. Leave your thoughts about maybe how your life is different from when you're at your heaviest to where you are now, or even vice versa if you're trying to gain weight, when you're at your thinnest to where you are now. Just, I would love to see some comments in the comment section, some discussion, because you guys are absolutely amazing and you guys just are very positive, and I love that you guys can connect down there in the comment section down below. And I'm always trying to comment as much as I can. I hope you guys see that, and I'm always trying to reply to you guys because you guys are absolutely amazing. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.